Here are the 9 celebrities preparing for tonight's show. Each wants to win up to £50,000 for charity, but only one can take the money away. The others will leave empty-handed when they're voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to our Champions edition of The Weakest Link. The 9 people in the studio tonight are already winners of previous star-studded specials. They're back to win up to £50,000 for charity. As they know, if they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team, but 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we chuck out the champion voted The Weakest Link. Let's meet the team.
I'm John Scott. I'm a fashion expert and I won the fashion special.
I'm Gilly Cooper. I'm an author and amazingly I won the writer's special.
I'm Billy Bragg. I'm a singer-songwriter and I won the music special.
I'm Jenny Murray. I present Woman's Hour and The Message on Radio 4 and I won the Strongest Women special.
I'm Mark Little. I'm an actor, comedian. I won the Theatreland special, Marvellous.
I'm Jackie Degg. I'm a model and I won the Page 3 special.
I'm Ian Lavender, an actor of sorts, and I won the classic sitcom special.
I'm Larry Turner, a journalist and TV presenter, and I won the Presenters special.
I'm Zita Sattar. I play Anna on Casualty and I won the TV Medic special.
Now, the rules in each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £5,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, team, at the end of the round, only money that's been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Billy. Let's play The Weakest Link. The first question is for £100. Start the clock. Billy, in maths, what is 31 plus 29?
60.
Correct. Jenny, in furniture, cots, playpens and high chairs are designed to be used by which members of the population, babies or teenagers?
Babies.
Correct. Mark, in the army, the name of which rank is informally abbreviated to Sarge?
Sergeant.
Correct. Jackie, in human biology, what B is another word for the act of respiration?
Breathing.
Correct. Ian, in food, the dessert profiteroles are balls of choux pastry served with chocolate sauce and filled with which dairy product?
Cream.
Correct. Larry, in traditional humour, the well-known joke usually begins, why did the chicken cross the what?
Road.
Correct. Zita.
Bank.
The word soirée denotes a party or social gathering held at what time of the day, morning or evening?
Evening.
Correct. John, the terms Bigfoot, Sasquatch and Yeti are all names for a human-like creature also called the abominable what?
Snowman.
Correct. Gilly, in pop music, We Are the Champions was a UK hit single in 1977 for which group?
Pass.
Queen. Billy, in the animal kingdom, which of the following species of bird is extinct? Emu or dodo?
Dodo.
Correct. Jenny, the television music programme that celebrated its 10th anniversary in 2002 is called Later with Jules who?
Holland.
Correct. Mark, in children's language, the term bow wow is used to represent which domestic animal and the noise it makes?
The dog.
Correct. Jackie, in food and drink, what C is the type of fine brandy that is named after a town in southwest France?
Pass.
Cognac. Ian, in literature, which term for a story with a moral usually featuring animals as characters rhymes with table?
A fable.
Correct. Larry, in consumer durables, machines and materials designed to be able to stand up to hardware are described as heavy what?
Duty.
Correct. Zita, in education, the word literate is used to describe people who are able to do basic what? Maths or reading and writing?
Reading and writing.
Correct. John, according to dining etiquette, people should not talk with their what full?
Mouth.
Correct. Gilly.
Bank.
Items made from plastic which can be activated so that they give off a soft light visible at night are said to glow in the what?
Dark.
Correct. Billy, in English, what is the US pronunciation for the letter of the alphabet that British speakers call Z?
Z.
Correct, Jenny. In religion, what N is an alternative word for a convent?
Nunnery.
Correct, Mark.
Thank-
In human anatomy, what is the everyday name for the organ that contains two openings known as nostrils?
The nose.
Correct, Jackie. According to the title song from the musical Anything Goes, in olden days, a glimpse of which item of clothing was looked on as something shocking? Bra? Stocking. Ian. In the 1970s, the brightly coloured inflatable toys used for bouncing that had horn-like ears as handles were known as space what?
Hoppers.
Correct, Larry. In publishing, James Herbert is famous for writing what? Time's up. I can't complete the question, and out of a possible £5,000, you managed to bank 3,750. So, who turns out to be a celebrity chump? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics show that the first strongest link is Mark. Jackie is the weakest link as she gave the most wrong answers. But who will the team vote off at this early stage?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jackie.
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 Gilly.
Jackie.
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 So, Mark,
Hi, gorgeous.
what are you busy with at the moment?
A bit of television, bit of travelogue, and Mel Smith's new movie.
Right, what are you doing in Mel Smith's new movie?
I'm playing an Australian lawn bowls champion in his lawn bowls film.
In his what?
Lawn bowls film. A film about lawn bowls.
Is it a big part?
Yeah, it's all parts are big.
No?
It's an
Are you
important
trying to
part.
say no? No, I didn't ask if it's an important part. Is it a big part?
No.
How long are you on screen for?
It'll be a good 5 to 7 minutes.
Why Jackie?
Jackie, well, she got 2 wrong. And that's sort of the name of the game. And it's ruthless and it's ugly, but it's true.
I know being ugly won't be difficult,
Yes.
but are you...
Yes. Yeah, I'll definitely be ugly. And, yeah, well, ruthless, just playing the game.
Will you try and keep still?
I'll try, but I'm a little bit
A little bit what?
hyperactive.
Is there any reason for that?
Oh, fear, loathing.
So, Jenny, have you ever been a page 3 girl?
Good gracious me, no.
Why are you so shocked?
Because I used to be very flat-chested, so I don't think they would have wanted me. I'm not flat-chested anymore.
No, that's true. Why Jackie?
Because she got a couple of answers wrong, and I think she lost us quite a large amount of money.
So, John,
Yes, Anne?
is there a particular reason why you're wearing last year's shirt?
The same reason you're wearing your dressing gown, I think, Anne.
Are you still helping Judy with her clothes and Richard
No,
and
I
Judy?
never did Judy's clothes.
Pity. Why Jackie?
Because she got 2 wrong.
Jilly, are you not good on pop groups? Are you a bit nervous?
Yes,
But you did bank £1,000.
I did. I was proud of that.
Were you?
Yes.
Were you as proud of the £1,000 you banked as the £1 million you got advanced for one of your books? Why is your mouth open like that?
I don't like talking about money.
Oh, but I do.
I mean, yes.
Is it? Why Jackie?
In the green room beforehand, we were all fooling around with questions, and she was much the brightest. I think she just got brain freeze.
Jackie, when you were with the page 3 girls, you seemed so bright.
I know. I don't know what's happened.
Were you nervous?
I'm concentrating on my knickers not falling down because my battery's in my pants.
Like that. Jackie, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's
probably going to be quite good comedy value, the fact that Page 3 Girl's gone off the first round because we were all supposed to be thick. So I knew I was going to go really first round, and I got a full house, so that's good. I'd have voted for myself if I could.
Round 2, team. So far, you've got £3,750. You're down to 8 players. We are now taking 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Astonishingly, that's Mark. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Mark, in the UK, a company such as an airline that provides a basic service for a reduced price is described as no what?
No frills.
Correct, Ian. In October 2002, which Australian singer released her debut album called Footprints? Is that a grunt or an answer?
I don't know.
Polyvalence. Larry, in marriage traditions, what D is the term for property or money given by the family of the bride to the groom or his family?
Dowry.
Correct. Zita, in UK geography, which word follows Ox, Brent and Castle to give the names of 3 places where there were originally shallow river crossings?
Bridge.
Ford. John, what name for a large bag often made of coarse cloth is also an informal term meaning to dismiss someone from employment?
Sack.
Correct, Gilly. In the UK, Ashton near Oundle is the annual venue for which World Championships, Conkers or Marbles?
Marbles.
Conkers. Billy, a group of experts who research an area to find solutions to problems and come up with new ideas is called a what tank?
Think tank.
Correct, Jenny. In time measurements, 6:15 is also known as what past 6?
Quarter past.
Correct, Mark.
Bang.
A person whose job title is radiographer works with what? Hit records or X-rays?
X-rays.
Correct, Ian. In pop music, Andrea, Caroline, Sharon and Jim are all family members of which Irish band?
The Corries?
No, The Cause. Larry, in politics, US President Richard Nixon represented which party?
Republican.
Correct, Zita. In literature, what A is the specific term for a set of memoirs or accounts written by an author about his or her own life?
Autobiography.
Correct. John, in money, the sale value of an item which is set by the seller is known as the asking what?
Price.
Correct, Gilly. In nature, which luxury fibre is produced by insect larvae that are fed on mulberry leaves?
Silk.
Correct, Billy.
Bank.
The word allegro is used to mean quick or lively in which art form, photography or music?
Music.
Correct, Jenny. In fashion, the belted coat with patch pockets named after the Swahili word for a journey or hunting expedition is known as a what jacket?
Swing jacket.
Safari jacket. Mark, in customs, the inquiry something for the weekend, sir, is traditionally associated with which tradesman?
Some for the week. Milkman?
No, barber. Ian, in TV, on The Muppet Show, the character Animal played which instrument in the band, violin or drums?
Drums.
Correct, Larry. In history, which Russian revolutionary was expelled from the Soviet Union in 1929 by Stalin and was assassinated in Mexico in 1940?
Lenin.
No, Trotsky. Zita, in the kitchen, what container used to heat water sometimes has a whistle?
Saucepan.
Time's up. I can't complete the question. If I had, the answer I would have been looking for, Zita, was kettle.
Ah.
Hot saucepan. And in that round, you only managed to bank £1,250 out of a possible 5,000. Whose fault was that? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
Billy is statistically the strongest link. Ian is the weakest link. But who will lose out in the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Ian.
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 Chili.
Ian.
Mark.
Jilly.
Ian.
So, Billy, is Billy your real name?
It's my middle name. My
What's
first name is Stephen.
Stephen
William
William
Bragg.
Stephen William Bragg. You could almost be a Tory Prime Minister, couldn't you?
Well, the way politics are these days, yeah, I guess. I guess I could be. Except I've got hair, so I doubt if I'd lead the party on.
Is it true you've had a street named after you?
Yes, I've had a street named after me in Barking, yes.
And is it a very large high street, a really trendy boulevard?
No, it's a small, rather secluded close behind a public house.
A close?
A close. It's called Bragg Close.
And how did you feel about having this close named after you?
Well, I felt very proud about it, Anne, really, because I'm sort of proud about where I come from, and if they reciprocate that a little bit by naming this
tiny close after
Well, hey, listen, they've not named anything after Bobby Moore, and he was born in Barking Hospital, so how outrageous is that?
Are you still singing these days?
I am indeed still singing, Anne, yes.
Well, what's your latest record?
My latest record is called England Half English.
Would you like to sing a little of that for us?
Yes, I don't mind. I'll just clear my throat. My mother was half English, and I'm half English too. I'm a great big bundle of culture tied up in the red, white and blue. I'm a fine example of your Essex man, but I'm well familiar with the Hindustan because my neighbours are half English, and I'm half English too. It's a strange singing style, I know, but it's mine.
It doesn't have a very catchy tune, that, does it? Why, Ian?
You got two wrong.
Where do you live, Mark?
Brighton.
And do you have your milk delivered?
Yes, the Brighton milkmen are very accommodating. Anything for the weekend, sir? Yes. While you're down there, fella? We'll have 2 more quarts of cream.
What did you understand by something for the weekend?
I actually didn't quite hear the question. The thing with this game, you have to really concentrate on your mumbly voice. And if you miss the first few syllables, you're in milkman barber territory, and... So it was a shot in the dark. I just tried to think of a tradesman off the top of my head, and it was the most embarrassing tradesman I could have chosen.
And if you'd heard the question, if you had actually been listening responsibly...
Oh, straight in with barber.
Why?
Something for the weekend. Nice haircut for the weekend, sir? No, I'll be right. I like what I've got.
Where are you from in Australia?
Queensland, originally.
And if the barber in Queensland said to you, something for the weekend, sir, what would you think he meant?
I think he'd be getting a little bit friendly. A little bit familiar. Say, sorry, mate, leave it out, just cut the hair.
Why, Ian?
Ian got a couple wrong, and it's just, that's just the way it is.
Zita?
Yeah.
In Casualty?
Yes.
Do you know anything about medicine?
I've picked a little bit up, yeah.
What have you picked up, dear?
I can inject an orange.
You can inject an orange. That must be helpful for the orange. Show us how you inject an orange.
Oh, Anne!
There's millions and millions of people... Just don't interrupt, Zita. Pretend I'm a consultant in Casualty. And be humble. There are millions... There are millions of people out there who actually believe you're a nurse.
Well, I haven't got an orange.
Well, pretend. Now, I'm going to say a little word for you, and I want to see how you react. Crash team? Can you do that with the...
Oh, yeah.
Go on, let's see you do that, then.
You've got to look quite bored when you do it.
Why?
Well, because it's run-of-the-mill, isn't it? You know. Oh, go and talk to someone else now, Anne.
Why, Ian?
Too wrong. Sorry.
So, Ian, what happened to you?
The brain went. I was feeling so sorry for Mark, you know, not knowing what happens at weekends in this country.
Ian, you are the weakest link.
Yes.
Bye.
I found doing Weakest Link for the second time around much more nerve-wracking than the first time. Because the first time around there was nothing to lose. And there was this time the respect of your family and friends and people in the street.
Round 3, team. So far, you've got £5,000. You're down to 7 players. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Billy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Billy, in pop music, which former soap star had a UK #1 single with Every Loser Wins?
Nick Bill.
No, Nick Berry. Jenny. In language, what L is an alternative word for freedom and the name of a famous bell in Philadelphia?
Liberty.
Correct, Mark. In human anatomy, there are how many joints in the arm between the wrist and the shoulder?
1.
Correct, Larry. The lead singer with the Scottish pop group Texas, who gave birth to a girl called Misty Kid Heath in September 2002, is Charlene who?
Spiteri.
Correct, Zita. In Italian food, what colour is lasagna verde, green or white?
Green.
Correct. John. The personification of Britain, known as Britannia, is usually depicted wearing a helmet and carrying a three-pronged spear called a what?
Fork.
A trident. Julie, in the UK, the trade union known as FBU represents people who work in which of the emergency services?
FBU. I don't know.
Fire service. Billy, in the TV sitcom Wild West, which British comedienne stars as a postmistress living in a Cornish village?
Dawn French.
Correct, Jenny.
Bank.
In horse racing, what H is the official term used to describe the going when it's very wet and muddy?
Hard.
Heavy. Mark, in UK geography, the coastline of which county faces Norfolk across the bay called the Wash?
Pass.
Lincolnshire. Larry, in art, the term mural usually denotes a large picture painted directly onto what part of a building?
Wall.
Correct, Zita. In the animal kingdom, amphibians are classified as what? Warm-blooded or cold-blooded?
Cold.
Correct. John.
Bank.
In pop music, which word meaning the opposite of simple was the title of a UK hit single in October 2002 for Avril Lavigne?
Clever.
Complicated. Gilly, in North America, the NHL is the principal professional league in which sport? Ice hockey. Billy, in travel, which UK motorway is sometimes referred to as London's car park?
M25.
Correct, Jenny.
Bank.
In her book, published in October 2002, Delia Smith features recipes for whom? Vegetarians or pampered pets?
Vegetarian.
Correct, Mark. In UK geography, which city in the north of England has two cathedrals connected by Hope Street?
Liverpool.
Correct. Larry, in romance, which plural word follows sweet to give a phrase meaning whispered words of affection?
Nothings.
Correct, Zita.
Bank.
Going anti-clockwise on a compass, how many degrees is the angle between south and east?
45.
90. John, in entertainment, what's the first name of the actress and presenter who is the daughter of Jimmy Tarver?
Lisa.
Time's up. Lisa is the correct answer. But between you, you achieved a very miserable, embarrassing £950. Has Larry painted herself into a corner? Has Nurse Zita been taking the stupid pills? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
As the only player to answer all her questions correctly, Lowry is the strongest link. Jilly is the weakest link because she got every answer wrong. But will the votes reflect the statistics?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jilly.
Jenny.
Jilly.
John.
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 Larry, how's it going for you?
Not too bad, actually. It's a pleasure to see you again.
That won't help you. What are you busy with at the moment, Larry?
I've published my first novel, and
You
I'm
have?
just finishing my second.
And what's your first novel about?
About the world of TV DIY.
Oh, really? That must be absolutely fascinating. Why, John?
I couldn't remember who'd got more than one question wrong, and I remember that John had got, I think, 2.
Jenny, have you written any books?
Yeah, a couple.
OK, what was the first one called?
It was called The Woman's Hour, and it was the story of women in this country since the Second World War to tie in with the 50th anniversary of Woman's Hour.
And the second one, what was that called?
It was called Is It Me or Is It Hot in Here? About the menopause. Didn't you read it?
You've written
You'd
a book
have found
about
it-
the menopause?
Yes, you'd have found it really useful a few years ago.
Why, John?
Because I think he answered 2 questions wrongly and didn't really bank very much.
John, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. I'm absolutely gutted to be voted off in the 3rd round. I'm sure I wasn't the weakest link. I think it was Jilly, but she's so gorgeous I don't mind. Anne's outfit today, well, I'm speechless.
Round 4, and you're up to £5,950. By now, of course, you could have 15,000. There are 6 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Lowry. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Larry, in archaeology, what H follows the words stone and wood to give a term for an ancient monument enclosing a circular or oval area?
Don't know.
Henge. Zita, in politics, which British Prime Minister said in 1943 the price of greatness is responsibility?
Churchill.
Correct. Jilly, in personal grooming, the facial hair growth that appears on some men's faces towards the end of the day is known as 5 o'clock what?
Shadow.
Correct, Billy.
Bank.
The word noggin is used to refer informally to which part of the human body?
Head.
Correct, Jenny. In the worldwide Scout movement, shaking hands is performed using which hand, right or left?
Left.
Correct, Mark. In music, which singer, who had a UK hit single in 1981 with Kids in America, now writes and presents as a gardening expert?
Alan Titchmarsh.
Kim Wilde. Larry, which stage and film musical is set in the 1950s at Rydell High School?
Greece.
Correct, Zita. In religion, which trees were widely grown in churchyards and provided material for making bows?
Yew.
Correct. Jilly, what P is the name of a writing material made from animal skins and used for manuscripts?
Parchment.
Correct, Billy. In geography, the Republic of Mali is a landlocked country in which continent?
Africa.
Correct, Jenny. In TV, the presenter of the programme Bargain Hunt is David who?
Hunt.
Dickinson. Mark, in clothing, which type of fastener, often found on sandals, can also mean to bend or give way under pressure?
A buckle.
Correct. Larry, in geology, the rare mineral Blue John is mined in which county of the UK, Cornwall or Derbyshire?
Cornwall.
Derbyshire. Zita, in the kitchen, a trivet is a cooking stand with how many feet?
3.
Correct. Jilly, in the NATO phonetic alphabet, which man's name is used to represent the letter V?
Victor.
Correct, Billy.
Bank.
In celebrities, Mandy Smith, Bianca Jagger and Jerry Hall have all been married to present or former members of which rock group?
The Rolling Stones.
Correct, Jenny. In history, before it proclaimed its independence in 1816, Argentina was a colony of which European country?
Spain.
Correct. Mark.
Bank.
In astronomy, a full moon, known as a harvest moon, is visible within a fortnight of which equinox, spring or autumn?
The autumn
Correct. Larry, in football, which English Premiership club has the nickname Spurs?
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Correct. Zita,
Bank.
in household items, the device consisting of 2 long shafts joined at one end, which is used to pick up. Time's up. I can't complete the question, and you won £1,250. But should Billy go back to barking? Does Zita need discharging? Is Jenny's hour finally up? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Statistically, Billy is the strongest link. In a reversal of fortune, Lowry is now the weakest link, as she gave the most incorrect answers. Can her previous performance save her from the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Lowry.
Lowry.
Larry.
Lowry.
Mark.
Lowry.
So, Jilly, what are you busy doing at the moment?
Being on your programme.
Yes. Are you going to be clever with me, Jilly?
No, I'm not.
Are you writing at the moment?
Yeah, I'm writing a novel about schools.
Oh. Is it a sexy novel about schools?
I don't think it could not be, really, with schoolgirls and sort of masters and all sorts of excitement.
Why Larry?
Because she was very sad. She was really clever before, but I just think she had beastly questions.
Zita.
Oh. I was feeling all smug then, because I thought you were going to go to Mark.
In Casualty, what's the most important thing you've learnt? OK, just tell us why Larry.
She had really rubbishy questions.
And very rubbishy answers. So, Mark, could you take us through Alan Titchmarsh's greatest hits?
It was more a fear, actually. It was just a fear. He was the only gardening bloke I could think of, person I could think of. And then I was horrified that he might have put a single out in '81, and I'm glad I wasn't here. And a whole lot of things went through my head, except the right answer, which was some woman I didn't know did gardening.
Why, Larry?
Why, Larry? Because she got the most questions wrong of all of us, I believed.
She did. Larry, with 5 votes, you are the weakest link.
I was completely rubbish, let's face it, in that round, so I deserve to go. I don't know whether Anne is looking for a toy boy of an Antipodean nature, but there's definite sexual chemistry between her and Mark Little.
Round 5, team, and you're up to £7,200, and you're down to 5 players. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Billy, the close. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Billy, in agriculture, the practice of growing different cereals in succession on the same piece of land to improve soil fertility is called crop what?
Circulation.
No rotation. Jenny, in children's TV, Oliver Postgate created which pink mouse-like creatures that lived under the surface of a blue planet?
Pass.
Clangers. Mark, in music, which of the following is the correct term for a moderately deep male voice, baritone or Barry Manilow?
Baritone.
Correct. Zita, in language, what word, literally meaning bitten by a domestic fowl, is often used to describe a man dominated by a woman?
Henpecked.
Correct. Jilly, in cinema, which pop star performs the song Suspicious Minds as part of the soundtrack to the UK version of the 2002 Disney film Lilo and Stitch?
Pass.
Gareth Gates. Billy, in science, what word is the opposite of both dark and heavy?
Light.
Correct. Jenny, what's the name for the International Athletics Tournament for disabled competitors held every 4 years in parallel with the Olympic Games?
The Paralympics.
Correct. Mark.
Bang.
In crime, what H is the slang term applied to a particularly spectacular robbery or hold-up?
Heist.
Correct. Zita, which colloquial word for a fool is the correct term for a young louse?
A fool? Flea.
Knit. Jilly, in a standard pack of playing cards, the 4 suits are hearts, spades, clubs, and which other?
Duns.
Correct. Billy, in UK motoring, in a standard vehicle, what's the usual name of the foot pedal used to increase speed?
Accelerator.
Correct. Jenny, in modern literature, who is the author of the 2002 autobiography Dale, My Story?
Dale Winton.
Correct. Mark, in food, which 4-letter word is the usual colloquial abbreviation for mashed potatoes?
Spud.
No. Mash. Zeta, in the animal kingdom, which primary colour goes before deer, admiral and setter to give the names of 3 creatures?
Red.
Correct. Jilly, according to the common observation, people often wait for which form of transport for ages before 3 come along at once?
Buses.
Correct. Billy, in commerce, what is a French word used to mean an investor in business who hopes to make a profit by using initiative and risking capital?
Can you repeat the question, please?
In commerce, what E is a French word used to mean? Time's up. The correct answer is entrepreneur. And you only banked £750. Who is now your prize idiot? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Jenny is statistically the strongest link. Zeta is the weakest link. But who will the team want off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Billy.
Mark.
Billy.
Jilly.
Jilly.
We have a tie team. Jilly and Billy have 2 votes each. Jilly, why Billy?
Because he's been absolutely brilliant, but he just got 2 questions wrong the last time.
You sure?
I thought so. I'm getting a bit muddled and old.
True. Zita, why Jilly?
I had to pick someone.
It's nice that you give it so much thought, Zita. Well, when the vote's tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. And the strongest link was Jenny. Why Billy?
I think Billy's really terrific. I'm a huge fan of his, but he got the first question wrong and the last question wrong, and he kept banking just before I did, so I had no money left to bank. Sorry, Billy.
You've got a choice now between Billy or Gilly.
Billy.
OK, well, interestingly, statistically, the worst player in the last round was old Florence Nightingale over here. But it's votes that count. Billy, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I don't feel too bad about getting voted off because I think it would be a bit over the top to win the... You know, it's good enough winning the music one, but to win the Big Heads one as well, you know, and be bigot of Big Heads, I think that's a bit too much, isn't it?
Round 6, team, and you're up to 7,950. 4 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jenny. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jenny, in sport, in 1875, Captain Matthew Webb became the first person to swim across which body of water?
The Channel.
Correct, Mark. In language, to leave after a sharp reproof is to be sent away with which animal in one's ear?
A flea in your ear.
Correct, Zita. In children's literature, which author wrote the 1950 book Hurrah for Little Noddy?
Enid Blyton.
Correct, Gilly. In Scottish folklore, the wicked spirit called a Kelpie is usually associated with which geographical element, water or fire?
Fire.
No, water. Jenny. In the 1994 film Muriel's Wedding, the central character is obsessed with the music of which Swedish pop group?
ABBA.
Correct, Mark. In geography, the New Forest is in which English county?
Kent.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
Zeta. The word gist, meaning the main point of the matter, begins with which letter of the alphabet?
G.
Correct. Gilly. In sport at Wimbledon, there are a bronze statue and a pair of gates named after which British tennis champion?
Fred Perry.
Correct, Jenny. In pop music, which duo recorded the 1970 album Bridge Over Troubled Water?
Oh, God! My
No,
favourite.
God, it isn't. It's Simon and Garfunkel. Mark. What was the title of the Radio 4 panel game in which the aim was to guess the identity of a celebrity who could answer only yes or no?
Who are you?
20 questions.
Okie dokie.
Zeta. In UK geography, the town of Halifax in West Yorkshire lies about 8 miles to the southwest of which city?
Leeds.
Bradford. Gilly. In the TV sitcom Terry and June, which actress starred alongside Terry Scott as the character June?
June Whitfield.
Correct, Jenny. Which proverb is the more common way of saying an excess of chefs ruins the soup?
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Correct, Mark. In the UK, Katie and Kat are pet forms of which girl's name? Cassandra or Catherine?
Catherine.
Correct, Zeta. In English history, at the request of King John, the Pope agreed to annul which famous charter only months after it was sealed?
The Magna Carta.
Correct. Gilly. A premium rate telephone service which allows a number of callers to gossip with strangers is commonly known as a what? Time's up. The correct answer is chat line. And you only banked £850. Look carefully at the people left. Has Mark got itchy feet? Does Zeta still have a pulse? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Zeta goes from being the weakest link in the last round to the strongest link in this. Mark is statistically the weakest link. But how will the votes go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mark.
Mark.
Zeta.
Gilly.
Jenny, why Mark?
I was just trying to put him out of his misery, really, because you've been so horrible to him, and I don't think he answered all his questions correctly. It obviously isn't a popular vote.
No. No, that's good.
Gilly, why Mark?
Because I think he got more questions wrong than anybody else, but he's very good.
No, you got as many questions wrong, but you did a bit of banking.
I can't vote for myself, though, can I?
No, alas, you can't. Mark, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes, I missed two basically easy questions about English culture. The New Forest, everyone knows where that is. It's in North Yorkshire. And the TV show, the radio show that everyone knows what that's called. Who are you? I won the weakest link Stop. End of sentence. That's enough. I won the weakest link twice. Get your hand off it.
Round 7, and you're up to £8,800. There are 3 of you left. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Zita. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Zita, which word that can also mean angry is the name of the mark used by a teacher to indicate that something is incorrect?
Cross.
Correct. Gilly, in literature, Ariel is the name of the spirit in which Shakespeare play?
The Tempest.
Correct. Jenny, in the words of the TV presenters, models made on Blue Peter were usually held together or covered with sticky-back what?
Plastic.
Correct.
Bank.
Zita, in transport, the twisting stretch of the A57 road between Sheffield and Glossop is nicknamed the what pass?
The Snake Pass.
Correct. Gilly, in food and drink, a hangover is often known as the morning after when?
Night before.
Correct. Jenny,
Bank.
in the Gregorian calendar, what special name is given to a year which includes the 29th of February?
Leap.
Correct. Zita,
Bank.
in cinema, in 1919, Charlie Chaplin, D.W. Griffiths, Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford formed the film company called United what?
Artists.
Correct. Gilly, which Spanish word meaning son is the usual abbreviation of the first name of Arsenal and England defender Solskjaer Campbell?
Philia.
Sol. Jenny, in October 2002, which controversial female singer released an album of traditional Irish songs whose title translates as Old Style New Way?
Sinead O'Connor.
Correct. Zita, the name of which fruit can come before Boat, Republic and Split to produce 3 well-known phrases?
Nana.
Correct. Gilly, in politics, George Robertson resigned as Defence Secretary in 1999 to become Secretary-General of which international organisation?
World Trade Organization.
NATO. Jenny, in literature, Leo Tolstoy wrote the novel War and Peace in which language?
Russian.
Correct. Zita, which well-known song copyrighted in 1935 was originally written as Good Morning to You?
Pass.
Happy birthday to you. Gilly, in
Bye.
finance, stocks and shares that are considered reliable are known as blue what?
Chip.
Correct. Jenny, in cartoons, which UK national
Bank.
newspaper... That's far too late.
Sorry.
In cartoons, which UK... Time's up. Between you, you've got £850. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, so bear in mind that £15,000 is up for grabs. Have the courage, women, to vote off the weakest link.
Jenny is statistically the strongest link because she got every answer right. Gilly is the weakest link as she answered the most questions incorrectly. But who will survive the final vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jenny.
Gilly.
Gilly.
Jenny.
Anne.
Why Gilly?
Because I did make a mess with the banking at the end, but I think I answered all my questions correctly, but Gilly didn't.
Zita, why Gilly?
I had to pick one again because I think they're both wicked, so
It's going to be another of those
spoiled for
complicated answers, isn't it? Gilly, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
If I was the heroine of one of my novels, as me performing today, it would definitely be the wettest, drippiest link. Well, I'd like to see Jenny winning because she was so kind and she voted me in when it was a tie between her, me and Billy, so she was very... I'd like her to see her win.
Round 8, in the bank you've got £9,650. 2 of you left, and in this round there's 90 seconds. But whatever you win will be trebled. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jenny. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jenny, in cricket on a very windy day, which 4 wooden components of the wicket can the umpires rule are not necessary for play?
Bails.
Correct.
Bang.
Zita, in music, the note called a quaver is made up of how many semiquavers?
4.
2. Jenny, in maths, the term log is a common abbreviation of which word?
Logarithm.
Correct. Zita, in science, what's the name for the chemical process in which sugars are broken down by yeast, such as in the making of alcohol?
Brewing.
Fermentation. Jenny, in fashion, what's the 2-word term for a piece of clothing usually worn by women that is transparent?
Pass.
See-through. Zita, in US history, the rapid relay mail service that ran briefly in the 1860s between Missouri and California was known as the what express?
The Midnight.
Pony, Jenny, in language, swear words are often said to be words of how many letters?
4.
Correct.
Bang.
Zita, the name of which glittering Christmas decoration goes before town to give an informal name for Hollywood?
Tinsel.
Correct. Jenny, in the UK military, who dares wins is the motto of which regiment?
The Air Force.
No, the SAS. Zita, in home electronics, what's the usual word used to describe a battery that can have its electric charge restored from the mains?
Rechargeable.
Correct, Jenny. In the animal kingdom, the name of which of the great apes is also a slang word for a thug?
Gorilla.
Correct.
Bang.
Zita, which sport is said to have originated in 1823 when William Webb Ellis picked up the ball?
Cricket.
No, the correct answer is rugby. Jenny, in food, the Australian word... Time's up between you in that round. You won a disappointing £400. Never mind, we'll treble that and add it to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means prize money tonight of £10,850. But only one of you can take that money away, so now you'll play against each other head-to-head. I'll ask alternating questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. So, Jenny and Zita for £10,850. Let's play Weakest Link. Jenny is the strongest link in the last round. You have the choice of who goes first.
I think I'll go first.
Jenny, in health and safety training, the fire triangle consists of the 3 elements necessary for combustion, namely heat, fuel, and which other?
Fire.
No, the correct answer is oxygen. Zita, the word plumbing derives from the Latin word for which metal that was formerly used to make pipes and drains?
Lead.
That is the correct answer. Jenny, in American history, what was the surname of the 19th century circus showman who had the first names Phineas Taylor?
Barnum.
That is the correct answer. Zita, in films and music, which word means one of a series of recordings of a scene from which the best will be selected?
Don't know. Sorry.
The correct answer is take. Jenny, which method of marine navigation is an anagram of the word arson?
Sonar.
That is the correct answer. Zita, in standard written English, which pronoun is the only one that always appears in uppercase?
A. I don't know. Sorry. I'm losing the plot.
Correct answer is I. Jenny, in theatre, which play by Samuel Beckett features the characters Vladimir and Estragon?
Waiting for Godot.
That is the correct answer. Zita, you need to answer this question correctly to remain in the game. In food, Cajun and Creole cuisine was first developed by the descendants of settlers in which southern state of America?
Louisiana.
That is the correct answer. Nevertheless, Jenny, if you answer this question correctly, you've won. So for £10,850. Which political term for the manipulation of electoral boundaries links the name of US Governor Elbridge Gerry with the word salamander?
Gerrymandering.
That is the correct answer. That means, Jenny, you are tonight's strongest link. And you go away with £10,850. What are you going to do with the money?
It's going to go to Women's Aid, because I've been very lucky to live with a man who is an absolute delight, and I can't think of anything worse than living with a man who is violent and dangerous, and they need houses and lots of help.
Zita, you will just go away. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think that all the guys on Casualty won't believe that I got as far as I did.
I was going to say winning the weakest link once is splendid, but winning it twice would be showing off. So I'm a bit lost now. I'm absolutely delighted about it. I'm delighted for Women's Aid.
I'm quite disappointed that I didn't get to do the walk of shame, actually. I was looking forward to practiced it and stuff, how I was going to look when I walked off.